right, take your journal out. In your journal, I want you to write today's date. Today we're going to be solving proportions. And everybody should be on page 47. I know, during fall time I'm going to tell you how to use it. Okay. Everyone should be on page 47. Table of contents, 7-4. Proportions. Josh. Everybody should be on page 47. Aiden. TJ. Aiden.
Wait, does this go on the left side or the right side?
The right. The right. Go back to the right. Alright, there's an awful lot of background noise going on. Does everyone have a 7-4 sheet?
It goes on the right side, right?
Goes on the right side. That is the correct statement. Okay, today our indicator is one that we've already talked about a little bit. Use multiple representations, including tape diagrams, tables, we've done those, double number lines, and equations, which we're going to do today, to find the missing values of equivalent ratios. So our complete focus for today is I can solve proportional relationships. All right? Now, this lesson, in my opinion, is a little bit easier than yesterday's lesson. When we start this one, I don't think that you're going to be in the mud. But be patient with me, because just like yesterday, you could start in the mud and then be at a 4 or 5 before we're finished. Okay? So just be patient. All right. Some key terms that I want to talk about. Have we talked about ratios? Look back at page, I think it's 44, and tell me, what is a ratio? Page 44, what is a ratio? No,
A comparison of two numbers.
A comparison of two numbers. A ratio is comparing two numbers. What are equivalent ratios? And that should be on page 45. A basic ratio is a ratio written in simplest terms. What is an equivalent ratio?
Equal ratios simplify to the same basic ratio.
Equal ratios that simplify to the same basic ratio. So we must know what a basic ratio is, what a ratio is, in order to know what equivalent ratios are. Have we already learned what ratios are?
Yes.
Basic ratios,
Yes.
equivalent ratios.
Yes.
Yes. So we've already done check, check, and then we're here. Proportional relationships. This entire time, y'all, we've been learning about proportional relationships, and you didn't even realize it, okay? But I'm going to show you today that we can apply what you've been learning. Yes, sir. Okay, I'm coming. Give me 1 second. Now, we can cross multiply to figure out our answer, or we can use the rule, which is what we were doing yesterday and the day before when we were talking about equivalent ratio tables. Now, what is a variable?
A number or a symbol.
It is not a number. A variable is not a number.
A symbol that's used to represent a number.
Yes.
An unknown
It can be a letter, it can be a symbol that is used to represent a number. What are inverse operations?
Using the opposite.
Using the opposite, inverse means opposite operation. So, those are things that we've all learned before. Now, up here I gave you two ways to solve proportions. You can either do it the first way or the second way. It does not matter. Pick the easiest route, okay? So, the first way I suggest is always see if you can figure out the rule. If you can figure out the rule, use it, okay? That's what we've been doing this whole time. If you can't figure out the rule, then you need to cross multiply, all right? Have we cross multiplied before?
Yeah.
Yes, so we already know how to do that, all right? Now, we are going to practice right down here, okay? So, can you tell me the relationship between 1 and x? Nope, because we don't know what x is. Can you tell me the rule of how to get to 2 to 18?
Yeah.
What is it?
Multiply by 9.
Multiply by 9. So if I do it on the bottom, I have to what? Do it on the top. So what does x equal?
9.
1 times 9 is 9. Okay? 1 times 9 is 9. Now, can we figure out the rule for the next one? How do we get from 32 to 64? Multiply by 2. So 12 times 2 is 24. So x equals 24.
How would you put it in next?
I know. Just wait a minute. I made a boo-boo here where I'm showing. Alright, the next one. I did it for you. Okay? Let's see what the rule is. How do I get from 9 to 3?
Divide by 3.
Divide by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So does that rule work?
Yes.
Yes. Now let me show you how cross multiplying works. 3 times 15 is what?
5. No.
3 times 15?
45.
45. What is 9 times 5?
45.
So are they equal?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, we are going to do this one using cross multiplication. Okay? Some of you can figure out the rule. Some of us will struggle to figure out the rule. So I'm going to tell you we are all going to do cross multiplication for this one right here. Okay? So, 3 times f is what? What do I write then? 3 times f is 3 times f. That's all I can write. I don't know what f is. Equals.
Equal 11.
Huh? Now I've got to do what?
33.
33 times 11. I want you to do that. Because I'm cross multiplying. Making my butterfly. You should get 363. So, if I'm multiplying 3 times f, what is the inverse of multiplication? Division. So if I divide by 3 over here with the f, what must I do on the right?
Divide by 3.
Divide by 3. So my 3's cancel out, and I'm just left with f. Now I've got to do 363 divided by 3. How many times will 3 go into 3? 6,
2.
3.
1.
So what's my answer?
121.
121. Which way's easier? The rule or cross multiplying? So I've got a couple people that say cross multiplying and a lot of people that say the rule, right? Okay, so it doesn't matter to me which way you do it. Do it the way that feels the most comfortable to you, okay? So we're gonna practice on the left side. Alright, so I want you to write down, and we're gonna do this first one together. 30 to 5 equals 54 to G. And we're actually gonna do this one two ways, okay? Who would like to suggest the first way to do it?
Come on, bud.
Cross multiply, let's go. So I'm gonna multiply 30 times G. What is 30 times G? We just have to write what? 30G, because I don't know what it is. It's 30 times G. That's all I know. So that's what I have to write.
Wait. That's just it?
Now, I've got to do what? 5 times 54. I want you to go to the side and do that.
It's 10. Wait.
270.
270.
I would have been back.
You gotta multiply. All right, what operation's going on with 30 and G?
Times 5.
So how do I undo the multiplication? So what am I gonna divide by? No, 30. That's what's with the G. So my 30s cancel out and I'm left with what? G. My zeros cancel out over here and I'm left with 27 divided by 3, which is 9. Does anyone know of another way that I could do that? The rule. So let's try that. I'm gonna cover up this side over here because I still want to leave that over there. And I think if I write at the bottom, it's gonna be very difficult to see. So I'm gonna use this space over here. It told me that the basic ratios for equivalent ratios must be equal, correct? What can I do to 30 to 5? Is that basic?
Yes.
You can't reduce that? You can. You can reduce 30 to 5. Can I have a 1 in the bottom?
Yes.
How?
Because 5 divided by 5 is
5 divided by 5 equals 1. So 30 divided by 5 is 6. So that is my basic ratio. Now I've got this. How do I get from 6 to 54? Multiply by 9. 1 times 9 is 9. So G equals 9. Do you see how you can do that two different ways? You can use the rule, even though you could not see a relationship between 30 and 54 right there, could you? No. Okay? You had to make it basic. It does not matter to me which way you do it. Let's do another one. 2W equals 32 to 16. I want you to do this one by yourself. So how do you get from 2 to 32? Okay. So what times 16 is 16? 1. Do 1. Yep. No, don't, you're making it hard. Don't make it hard, okay? Alright, how do I get from 2 to 32?
Times 16.
Times 16. So what times 16 is 16? 1. So W equals 1. Some of y'all are trying to make that one way hard, okay? If you can figure out the rule, don't cross multiply, okay? Only cross multiply if you can't figure out the rule. Let's look at the third one. T is to 5 as 36 is to 60. I want you to figure out what T is. A little too. So you get from 5 to 60. How do we get from 5 to 60?
Times 12.
Times 12. So what times 12 is 36?
3.
So T is what? 3. Alright, I want a fist of 5 of how comfortable you feel right now figuring out what the variable is.
Now I get it.
I just want you to show me. Okay. I'm waiting on you.
Yeah.
What, Josh? We're in the muddy water? Well, we got to get out of that muddy water. I'm coming. Alright, so we have 48 is to 12 as A is to 15.
Miss Bird, I told Josh he needs to learn to swim out of that water.
Need to what? He does. It just takes this minute sometimes.
He ain't swimming lessons.
Alright, write this one. Okay. Alright, can you figure out the relationship between 12 and 15? Nope. Can you reduce this to a basic ratio? What can you divide both of those by? Can you divide 48 by 12? Okay, so what would your basic ratio be?
I think we all.
12 divided by 12 is what? 1, so put that divided. Where's the beans wrong? No, in the bottom, son. Okay.
I got
So
it.
12 divided by 12 is 1. 48 divided by 12 is. Okay.
I still put
So now, you still have A over 15. You get from 1 to 15. Stop talking. Yes. Yep, so what do you, yep. Isn't that easy peasy? Yes! So now, do the math. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Alright, we can do this one 2 ways, okay? Everybody is stumped because you can't figure out the relationship, can you? And nobody wants to do the cross multiplying, do you? Because nobody wants to multiply 48 times 15, do you? Because if you cross multiply, you're going to have to do 48 times 15. Nobody wants to do that, do you? 48 over 12. Can we reduce that? Can we reduce that?
Yeah.
Yes. What can I divide 48 and 12 by? Josh, what can I divide 48 and 12 by? 12. 12 divided by 12 is what? 1. 48 divided by 12 is 4. What's wrong, Justin? Right in the middle of me talking? It's 4. Okay? Now, this is our basic ratio. So let's rewrite it. 4 to 1 equals A over 15. Now, can we figure out how to get from 1 to 15? How do I get from 1 to 15? Times 15. So 4 times 15 is what? 60. So A equals 60. Oh, that's
Hold on, I need to write that.
some of y'all were making this way too hard, weren't you?
No.
I have one more. I hear whining. Go, Justin.
Okay, go.
All right, I gave you a word problem this time. Selena is making trail mix for her scout troop. If each scout gets 1/5 cups, how much trail mix will she need for 19 scouts? Write and solve a proportion to find your answer. So, 1/2, is it 1/5, sorry. 1/5 cups for 1 scout. How many scouts do we have? 19. So, how do we get from 1 to 19?
Times 19.
Figure out your answer. Mm-hmm. That one's right. How many people got 3 4/5 cups?
What are you even asking?
How do we get a mixed number?
Because, look, you've got 1/5 cup times 19. So I did 1/5 times 19 over 1, because I gotta put a 1 underneath it, and then multiply. Y'all, I told you, you're gonna have to take the skills that you've learned all year and apply them as we keep going. 1 times 19 is 19. 5 times 1 is 5. Then I changed it to a mixed number.